Welcome back to my channel. This is a Smoking Sun, and just like my previous video, this will be a short video of another female serial killer. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And here we go. Nannie Doss, aka the Giggling Granny, was born Nancy Hazel in Blue Mountain, Alabama, which is now part of Anniston, Alabama, on November 4th, 1905, one of 5 children to James and Louisa Hazel. When Nannie was 9 years old, she was traveling on a train with her family to visit relatives when the train had stopped suddenly, causing Nannie to hit her head on a metal bar from the seat in front of her. Nannie maintained that this caused her mental instability. Now, both Nannie and her mother despised James for being an abusive and controlling father and husband. James would force their children to work on the family farm and wouldn't let them go to school, which hurt Nannie's academic performance. When Nannie was 16 years old, she was working at a linen factory, and there she met Charlie Bragg. After 4 or 5 months of dating, Nannie and Charlie would get married at the approval of her father. Now, Charlie was the only child to a single mother, and Charlie's mother had insisted on living with him even after he got married. Nannie would later say that she wed Charlie after 4 or 5 months at her father's request, and that Charlie's mother had taken over their life and wouldn't even let Nannie's mother Louisa stay the night. Between 1923 and 1927, Charlie and Nannie had 4 daughters. Now this, along with Charlie's mother, stressed Nannie out, where she would start drinking and smoking heavily. Both Charlie and Nannie suspected each other of infidelity, and sometimes Charlie would disappear for days on end. Between 1923 and 1927, Charlie and Nannie had 4 daughters, and in 1927, suspected food poisoning took the lives of Nannie and Charlie's middle 2 girls. Not long after that, Charlie took oldest daughter Melvina and left Nannie and newborn daughter Florine. Soon after Charlie had left, his mother had passed away, and Nannie took a job at a cotton mill to help support her and Florine. The following summer, Charlie would return Melvina back to Nannie, as he had found another woman, and she was carrying Charlie's child and was seeking a divorce. Charlie had maintained that he left Nannie because he was afraid of her. In 1929, Nannie met and married Robert Franklin Harrelson, and that marriage would last 16 years despite Robert being an alcoholic with a criminal record. In 1943, Nannie became a grandmother for the first time when her daughter Melvina gave birth to a son, Robert Lee Haynes. Then, 2 years later, in 1945, Melvina gave birth to her second child, but that child soon died afterwards. Feeling exhausted from childbirth and groggy from the ether, Melvina thought she was hallucinating when she saw what looked like her mother sticking a hat pin in the newborn's head. She asked her husband and younger sister for clarification, and they had told her that Nannie told them that the baby had died, but did notice her with a pin. However, the doctors could not give an explanation. And in 1945, Robert Harrelson raped Nannie. So the next day, she poisoned his corn whiskey jar. He ended up dying that night. And through a Lonely Hearts column, Nannie met Arlie Lang, and the two got married 3 days later. And like her previous husband, Arlie was an alcoholic womanizer. But in this marriage, Nannie was the one who often disappeared for months at a time. But when she was at home, she played the perfect housewife. And when he died of what was said heart failure, the townspeople supported her at his funeral. And not long after Arlie died, the couple's house burned down. Now the house was left to Arlie's sister, but the insurance money went to Nannie, and she quickly put it in the bank. Soon after that, Arlie's mother died in her sleep, and Nannie left North Carolina and ended up going to her sister's home. Now his sister was bedridden, and soon after Nannie's arrival died. In 1952, in Emporia, Kansas, Nannie married her 4th husband, Richard Morton. Mr. Morton was an alcoholic, however, he was a womanizer. It was during this marriage that Louisa, Nannie's mother, came to live with the newly married couple. However, lived was an overstatement, because Nannie would poison her mother in January of 1953, and just 3 months later, Nannie would also poison Richard. And just 1 month after burying Richard, Nannie would marry her fifth husband, Nazarene minister Samuel Doss, who tragically lost his family in a tornado in Arkansas. Now, Samuel voiced his disapproval of Nannie's love of romance novels and stories, and in September of 1954 was admitted to the hospital for flu-like symptoms. Now, doctors would diagnose it as severe digestive tract infection, and he was treated and released on October the 5th. And just a week later, on September the 12th, Nannie would finish the job and poison Richard for the very last time. Nannie was in a rush to kill Richard after taking 2 life insurance policies out on him, and because of his quick death, an autopsy was ordered on Richard, and significant amounts of arsenic was found in his system, which prompted authorities to arrest Nannie for Richard's murder. Nannie would confess to killing 8 individuals, including 4 of her husbands, her mother, her sister, her grandson, and mother-in-law. However, the state only focused on Samuel Doss. She was prosecuted by J. Howard Edmondson, who later became the governor of Oklahoma. On May 17, 1955, she pled guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. The state did not pursue the death penalty to women during that time. She was never charged with the other deaths. Despite the money she received from many insurance payouts, Nannie insisted money didn't play a significant role in her murders. She was more motivated by marital boredom and the dream of discovering the ideal husband as described in her favorite magazine, True Romance. "That's about it," Nannie told her interrogators. "I was searching for the perfect mate, the real romance of life." And it was revealed that Nannie was lining up her 6th husband even before Samuel Doss had died. Now, just like she did with Arlie Lanning, she corresponded with John Kill through the Lonely Hearts Club. Now, Kill told North Carolina officers that he had no idea that she was married, but he did have it in the back of his mind, and they also discussed plans for her to come to North Carolina to meet him. Nannie earned the nickname the Giggling Granny because in 1955, upon receiving her life sentence, it appeared that she was thrilled with the prospect of life in prison, and also as habit of giggling and smiling constantly, as shown in many pictures that you can find on the internet. On June 2nd of 1965, Nannie Doss died of leukemia in the hospital ward of Oklahoma State Penitentiary. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like, subscribe, and a notification bell. And you can comment below as well. We'll see you next time.